Okay, so we are recording. We'll start with the May minutes, which were approved last time because they weren't posted. So do I hear a motion to approve the May minutes?
Sure.
So I so move. Oh,
I'll
Barbara?
second.
Okay. All four, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. This item was the June minutes.
didn't Carol have some kind of correction for that?
There's a header missing from the second one, the
Oh,
date
okay.
of the June meeting.
Okay. I did
Does
see
everybody
that.
have a gray screen right now?
no,
I've got a gray screen with a blue timeout thing going on here.
that's not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What
Uh-oh.
now?
That's why you have that look on your face.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
You may want to reboot and rejoin.
Oh, okay.
We could wait for you to do that.
If you want to do that, go ahead, because we're actually technically ahead of schedule right now. So
Yeah.
um,
Okay, I'm still here, and whatever that was, I got rid of it.
No good.
okay. Okay, well, let me go to the minutes for
I'm sorry. Who approved the May minutes and seconded?
I
Marvin
made it. Yeah.
and John seconded, or Greg seconded.
Yeah, Greg seconded.
Okay. So
So the June meeting we're at.
yeah. So I lost the header for the June meeting. Okay, that's been corrected.
We accept the June minutes.
Do we accept the June minutes? That's corrected.
I'll second.
Thank you much.
Okay, all four say aye.
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 Petty bureaucracy. Sorry. Okay. So the next thing on the agenda is action items from the previous meeting, which the first three things go to Carol. Carol, the apartment categorizing in Blue Bolt. So you've completed that?
Yes, and I sent it to you. So for the meeting, I'm letting everybody know that my Blueberry corridor is being changed to Blue Boulevard, BLUBLVD, so it will fit Stephen's spreadsheet. And so I took on the assignment of categorizing the apartments in precinct 240, and it was quite a job. It's taken me about 3 weeks off and on to do it, but I did reconnaissance just about every day, and I filled out, I can't remember how many lines of the spreadsheet it was, but I also added a column so that I could tally up how many units were in 240, and it's almost 2,900 units.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's counting duplexes, fourplexes, apartment complexes, condos, a trailer park, all
Wow.
that. Yeah. So Stephen, did you get my spreadsheet?
I don't remember. I remember you saying something. I must have gotten it because of
Because you put me on the agenda.
yeah, because I put you on the agenda. I know I got something. I'll go back and look at it.
Well, my caveat with my email sending it was, so my understanding is either Travis County or TCDP is going to send voter registration cards to all these units.
I'm going to do anyone who does it. I will make sure they get registration cards.
Excellent. And Democratic lit. So I don't have to walk these things?
I can't guarantee the Democratic led. I will guarantee the registration cards.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, if they register, they'll get Democratic lit probably. But I actually had an interesting discussion with Gretchen Nagy at Travis County yesterday. So about registration and getting people registered. So so what else is happening in Blue Boulevard?
In Blue Boulevard, let's see, Sam Arnold of originally precinct 130 moved to 131, and he has taken care of changing that with TCDP, and he's going to work with me to help find somebody to replace him in 130. Adele Noel won the runoff in May, and she is eager to get started. And I have sent your converted CSV files to each of Sam Arnold, Jeremy Hendricks, Adele Noel, Sarah Brewer, and AJ Juraska,
Okay.
that have all asked for them.
Have you talked to AJ recently?
Yes, she is
Okay.
on board. She is on board.
So she's willing to be a precinct chair?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering if she would convert back to that after I had talked to her.
I did not pester her. I sent it out saying, does anybody want one of these Excel files? And she said, yes, she does. So there she goes.
Very, very good. I had talked to her. I didn't twist her arm. I talked to her specifically about her issues because I have a unique perspective on it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think she realizes how important this year is, and I think she wants to see it through November.
okay. Well,
If any of these people need training for either organizing or van, let me know.
Excellent, excellent. Adele mentioned that, and I gave her your name and contact.
Okay.
Did Taylor Crook or Stephanie Crook get in touch with you, Marvin?
Yes. Let's see here. Taylor attended training, basic organizing training on Sunday.
Okay.
She has not done van training.
Okay. Yeah, I just found her for 215. So
Taylor was there and Boone was there. I
okay.
can't remember Boone's last name, but
Okay. The last thing I have 241. So who is the chair for 241?
Well, you asked me to try to find somebody for Ruben's Baja Round Rock.
Yeah.
And when I lined up the chair for 241, she is a neighbor of mine, and she wants to be part of Blue Boulevard.
Which I have no problem with.
Exactly. So I redrew our map and sent it to our super precinct members. And the chair for 241 is Linda Davis. She and her husband, Dave Davis, are long time solid Democrats.
I know
And
Linda.
I'm glad to have them aboard.
I think I know Linda. Can you send me her contact information just so I can fill it in?
I will.
Okay.
If you can confirm it with TCDP, because she said she mailed it in.
I have been trying to get TCDP to give me a current list, and I haven't been able to get it from them.
Right.
do you know are you aware of the status of TCDP right now?
No
So,
staff.
Brian resigned
stepped down.
last week, and Joe Casino has stepped in to help out. Matter of fact, he did van training on Sunday afternoon. And
Okay.
Joe's doing a really good job, but everything's a little backed up right now. The JBR dinner has everybody overwhelmed, and Katie has another spread of COVID in her business.
Oh,
So-
no.
So she's having a hard time personally.
So,
And there's a convention going on.
Yeah.
And the convention.
and I need to send out an email on that too. Right? So,
Um,
Next thing on the agenda is Baja Round Rock. So still send me your connection information so I can make sure it goes through. I'll make sure it goes through.
um, can I jump in real quick? Just use the
Yeah.
downtown. Did you get my
Yeah.
stuff downtown? I can't remember because I did connect with those folks. I mean, folks in town. No, I don't know if they'll be able to get together or not, but I know you invited Aaron to come tonight.
Yeah.
So
We need them to actually meet and start working.
Right.
Can you ride them to that point or?
Well, I tried to, and it just didn't happen. But I did have a long conversation. It wasn't with Aaron. It was.
Okay. You know,
Um,
we actually need them to start meeting and start doing their work.
Right. But Aaron you did invite Aaron to come
I
tonight.
did invite Aaron to the meeting.
Yeah.
He was on the.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I can verify it. I have the, yeah, Aaron Gonzalez.
Right.
Old 250.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 250.
Old,
Or
the old.
200. Anything that's
He's 200 now.
He's
Yeah.
200. Yeah.
So yeah.
Steven, what are we talking about? Can you tell me a little more about this? You're trying to get some folks together?
There are 5 precincts in downtown, which they say they want to form as a super precinct, but they haven't met.
Well, they just want to support each other. I don't know if they want,
They want to support each other,
Right.
which basically
Right.
what a super precinct is.
Right.
But they got to start acting because we have an election coming up.
Right.
That's-
Okay.
Less than 100 days.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
All right. Well, I've got to go. I'll see you guys.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I've been asking Susan to do, is to ride them and to get them to start meeting and working, since she has some connections with them. Do you have connections with them, John?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess this is the precincts that are to the south and east of mine, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't think I was included on that.
No,
I mean,
you're-
it would be Aaron. I mean, I would get in touch with Aaron, who's the semi-new person. I mean, I think he's been there for a year or so.
You're breaking up, John.
He seems frozen.
Yeah. We lost connection. Yes. I talk to my son all the time in Iraq, and that's my symbol that we've lost connection.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
Year to
He's trying.
let's leave that
And
as an
I don't
action
know
item.
who the downtown.
Okay. Basically, downtown is south of the university, north of the river, and between I-35 and Lamar. So put Susan on as an action item to continue getting them to start working, and give me an action item to check in with Susan every once in a while, make sure she's doing it. But yeah, we need them to start meeting. There's a few others we need to get start meeting. And we'll talk about that at the end of the meeting. So let's go back to the list. Jason, what happened at the meeting the other night for Baja Roundrock?
I spoke to Ruben, and it was just the two of us. And we haven't heard from any of the people that we reached out to. So we're going to have to expand our search. And I think that's pretty much where we are. We're going to get back together again in a couple of weeks.
Okay. I'm sorry I missed that. I actually had another meeting at the same time.
No problem. No problem at all.
So, if you need,
Jason, what precinct are you?
I am 265.
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm late.
it's all right. You're worth the wait. If you need some advice on looking for precinct chairs, I have been very active with that recently. So what I've been doing is I've been finding the 40 most likely candidates and sending them a group email saying, let's organize your precinct.
Okay.
So, I have like 8 precincts I'm finishing out tonight on that. So,
You know, cold calling people and asking them to be precinct chairs is a scary thing to a lot of people. If we can get their group working together, leadership will emerge from that. But you know, it's hard to get somebody to say they'll be a precinct chair if they have no concept of what it is.
yeah, but I send out to a group saying, do you want to organize your precinct? Are you willing to work with people to organize your precinct?
There you go.
And then I usually get 5 emails back from that 40 and we talk, and then
There you go.
a precinct chair emerges from that group.
There you go.
I got one for 154.
154, that's an outlier.
Mhm.
That's
Her name is Rachel Davis. Davis or Davies. I think I got that wrong there.
so that's our second Davis to be a precinct chair tonight.
There
I'm
you
so
go.
glad.
Carol just found a precinct chair with the last name Davis.
I don't know if it's Davis or Davies. I need to look that up, but I'll send it to you. I
Okay.
need to know what she needs to do because I need to tell her.
Well, the first thing is if I can get
Can't
you
get
sent,
appointed until a CEC meeting, right?
she can't be
No,
appointed.
but we
Well,
can put her through training before she's appointed.
technically,
Yeah.
technically, and I've read the rules on this, she can be appointed, but she has to be approved at the next CEC meeting. So she can actually start working as a precinct chair.
She'll
if
start.
Katie
Yeah.
installs her, and if the CEC doesn't confirm her, then she's no longer a precinct chair.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
But is there a form she needs to fill out or anything?
yes,
Yes.
yes. Send me an email.
Okay.
You remind me, and I'll send it back in return email.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So,
Yeah.
So Jason, do you need any help in Baja Roundrock or?
I am really just focusing on 256, the one above me.
Okay.
It used to be part of my precinct, so I feel comfortable and familiar with it. And that's probably just picking up one as my capacity. But I'll give it a shot and see how that goes. And if that doesn't work out, I'll reach out.
Okay.
Stephen, I'm gonna send you, and I will copy Pat and Caro and anybody else that wants to. We created a letter, cover letter that TCDP is using for prospective precinct chairs. And we also have a set of documents that goes with it. So I'll send those to you guys.
Okay.
And the letter has the link to the form that they have to use to sign up.
Yeah, I'd like that because I've been in the process. So, um, so we have Round Drive. So I'm next. I have two things, and I'll actually expand it to three. Windsor Park Mueller, I've had some meetings. They've met once. I need to make sure they meet again. I actually had a precinct chair for one of their precincts found, and she backed out. So I'm starting the process over in 117 for them. But I need to get on their back and get them to start meeting again and start processing. They have a bunch of precinct chairs. It's not like it's a vacant area. They just need to start meeting and coordinating. I had too many other things on my list besides, and as I said, I was looking for one of their precinct chairs. I thought I had, and it slipped away. That I will get on their back about meeting again. East Travis County has been my major concentration outside of my own area. I'm working with Aaron and Daniel over there. I am currently helping them look for 6 precinct chairs. And I'm sending out some email on that tonight. They actually have some great ideas for activities, but their biggest problem is getting an organization together. And
That's not David Albert's area.
No, David Albert is south of the river. This is Daniel Segoria. This is East Travis County. This is the northeast corner of Travis County, Manor area. It's the green area on the map. They have 3 precinct chairs in that whole area, and one of them isn't really responding. So it's Daniel and Karen are the 2 major ones, and Karen's actually not a precinct chair. But we're putting it together, a program to find precinct chairs. We've teamed up with them with several groups in Central Austin to do voter registration in their area. So there's some coordination to get that area back together. Voter registration is active. We're looking for precinct chairs. They're actually having a regular meeting. They just don't have many members or activity. And that's the next gen up for them, is to find precinct chairs and members and volunteers. And so I'm working with them on that. And we actually, that was the meeting I missed when Jason's meeting was. I was meeting with them. So, so that's moving forward. I will mention CAPTCHA just to say it's on the rails. We have a Democratic Day in the Park scheduled for July 30th. We are having some problems with coordinating with BANA, but that's an internal problem. I hope it gets worked out. But we're active and moving. I'm just hoping to work out the kinks in the system. And part of the July 30th event, Democratic Day in the Park, is to start exercising. Can we get canvases together? Can we get volunteers out? So we can start doing that. So each precinct is canvassing their area, advertising the event. So I put together a minivan and Google spreadsheets for that for every precinct. So that's where we are with that. We talked to Susan on downtown. I thought about asking her about what's happening in her area, but Pat, you know what's happening in her area. What's happening in Pflugerville? I hear.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? I was writing someone an email. What's happening in Pflugerville? Well, we're continuing to press on. We're about to have a small outreach to our vote by mail group and everything. We're working on a little flyer that we're going to start distributing. Danae Barcelou is running all of that stuff for us and getting us her names and whatnot. I know she's reached out to you and gotten information from you, Stephen.
I given her half the data, I promise.
Yeah, I know. She's very pleased with it because she's so angry with Van. And so that's about to be something we're going to start here soon, just hitting priority precincts first, you know, because we have those that we know are good turnout. We want to make sure we get the info to them. But that said, you probably have heard, because I've put it places, we have Beto coming on August 18th to Pflugerville. That's where one of his stops on his like going all over Texas thingy-jiggy. So we're working on that as well, but that is generating a lot of interest up here since we started posting that, getting a lot of people very, you know, excited. So, this gives us a lot of visibility, you know, which makes that good. We're getting volunteers out of that. So we're pretty excited about that. We're working with the Beto team directly. And like I said, I got that new precinct here. I thought I had another one over in our Springbrook area, which means nothing to you guys, but it's one of the 160s. And he didn't get back to me. So I'm still working on that. But we have enough of us if push comes to shove to cover the areas. You know, I mean, we can do it because we now have about, okay, in fact, we have 35 precincts, 37, but those two that have 10 people added together. But 35 precincts and 2/3 at least of those have precinct chairs. I think that that's pretty good, you know, for, you know, it's just that it's, when I saw it's 90,000 voters, I about choked. I looked on your sheet, like, what, you know?
So can I get you to pass a message on to Danae?
Yeah, sure. She's out of town right now.
So this is my to-do list.
Is she one of them?
And you'll see.
She's way down there, though. I'll tell you, you're at the bottom.
Well, that doesn't mean that this is in priority order. I'm just like,
Okay.
what are the things I have to do? And I
Right.
don't remember when I put them on the list.
She's traveling right now. She's out of town. She doesn't get to go to convention. She was really upset about that, but she's doing some great stuff for us up here in terms of putting together. She's my data person, you know, putting together the stuff we need, the list we need, which helps the precinct chairs a bunch and whatnot. So we're gearing up towards a lot of things, to be honest with you. We're busy.
She's not forgotten. She's just on the to-do.
I think she's okay. I think she's okay, but I'll tell her that. But next
You
time
can
I
see
talk
the
to her, I'll
to-do
tell her.
list.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So that's pretty much, I mean, moving along, doing our
Okay.
thing. So
yeah, I don't think we need
we're
to.
doing a postcard writing gathering on the 23rd, the evening of the 23rd. We're gonna all go up to the three-legged goat and sit around and have wine and write posts, not all, but whoever wants to show up. We're doing that instead of a meeting because honestly, we're also busy right now, just trying to, you know, do this stuff to get out to voters. We're not having a formal meeting. We're just getting the data out, getting the data gathered and getting the resources out and whatnot. So we are, Carol Titleman, y'all probably know Carol. She's a precinct chair. She coordinates our postcard writing campaign for us, and she wanted to have some people get together. So we're doing that to help her out and get a bunch written. We bought a bunch of stamps and postcards. So
Yeah, I usually don't talk about areas which are doing well. So
that's fine. I'm fine with that. We, you know, we're moving along, getting ready. I mean, Danae's ready to have us walking every day in the 110-degree weather. And I had to tell her, you know, your major volunteers are in their 60s and 70s. They ain't going to be doing that in the middle of the day. I mean, just get over that, girl. But we'll get it done.
yeah, I've been walking my dog in the morning and
That's
he
when
tires out before I do. Yeah.
My dog is collapsing in the grass and refusing to move.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 90 pounds. I can't get him up. So
we adopted an elderly dog a few months ago, and he was 78 pounds, and he's supposed to be in the mid-50s. His foster indulged him, so we've been walking him to death, and
yeah,
he's now getting the result that they need.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take a lot of time. We're doing fine.
Okay.
Okay.
The next one is Central. Marvin, do you have any connection with the Central? Or John, you're with Central, actually.
Yeah, the Central group is going to meet on the 21st. This is kind of Jill Noakes, Ann Aber, this whole group that's kind of, you know, north central of, you know, UT and north. And actually, Marvin, I've pulled in Bennett Blodgett.
Good.
he's going to join us as well on that evening. A lot of energy, and I know Jill has been really working hard to try to set this meeting up. But there's been a lot of email traffic and people who seem to be really eager about getting going.
Good.
Do you need any help there, or you think everything's on rail?
I think we're okay at the moment. Let's see kind of what comes out of the meeting on the 21st and what the appetite is for people who, what they want to do, and then I'll follow up with you.
Okay.
Stephen, are you going to the meeting on the 30th for the Riverside group?
I can't, because that's the time for Democratic Day in the Park.
Okay, well, I will go to their meeting on the
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah.
Try to get them moving along.
So have you done anything with Lake Travis?
Yes, so Lake Travis had an organizational meeting at Mandola's out in Bee Cave about a week ago. And I attended as their guest speaker. And I was really excited. Bob Sheldon and Kerry Jones are moving that along. They have formed an executive committee. They have set plans. They're moving well. They have a new precinct chair. I can't recall her name, who attended the meeting. And I talked to Bob today, and they still have, the Lake Travis Progressives and some other groups that haven't really bought into it. And I just told him, you guys are doing a great job. Once you get going, they're going to see what's going on. I think they're going to want to be a part of it, but you just can't hold back waiting for that to happen. He says that one person with the Lake Travis Progressives told him that they were talking about forming a Blue Action chapter. And I said, it just doesn't make any sense for you to have your super precinct and a Blue Action chapter separate out there. You guys really need to work together. And I said, are you sure about that? Because I'm talking to Lana, I don't think she's got anything going on out in that area. So I haven't talked to her since I talked to Robert to corroborate that. So I'm not sure if there is Blue Action. Bob and Kerry and everybody considered that and decided they didn't want to be a chapter, so they're just doing a super precinct.
Yeah, there's been some territorial push and pull in some areas, which I'm not liking, and that's
Yeah.
one of them. The progressives don't want to work with the super precinct, and this is why the Democrats lose.
Yeah, I mean, we all should be on the same team.
Yeah.
I don't care what you call yourself.
And some of it is, well, I don't want to work with them, and it's like, tough. They're on your team.
Well, I don't know what can be done about it. I had hoped to be able to talk to some people in Dallas, but that's not going to happen. Maybe Sunday I'll have a chance to bend somebody's ear, but that's what's going on there. The other precinct chair I trained the other day was Boone Lee, who's in 369, I think.
That's way
393. And that's in Kerry recruited him. Okay.
He's in the Far North Progressives.
Yeah. And so he's working with Kerry Stevens. And so we went through training the other day together, the basic organizing stuff.
Well, wait, Kerry's 393, isn't he?
I think I think the understanding I had from him was that Kerry recruited him and they're trying to figure out who's going to be what. I think maybe he's going to be an organizing chair.
Oh, okay.
Now that I think about it. Now that you mention it. Yeah,
Okay.
now that you mention it, I remember him saying that they were talking about who's going to do what.
Okay, that's fine.
And let's see, anybody else? Not really. Our group's moving along. We had another organizational meeting. We have another one in 2 weeks, and we're setting up postcard writing in Westlake. We have 3 dates that we're gonna do postcard writing, and then we're gonna co-sponsor an event with Blue Action Southwest in August 21st. Out at the Southwest office. We're gonna have a big volunteer event.
Okay, Greg, what's happening in the 4 Points area?
Muted.
All right, there we go. Can I share a screen? I got a one-page little overview.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I need to allow you to share.
Okay.
You mean you prepared for this meeting, Greg?
Can you believe it, right?
Wow. You're gonna make us all look really bad.
I know. Hang on. Let me see. Hang on. Let me see if I can get this over here. I got two.
There you go.
I've got some computer problems. Just a moment. Can you guys see that? No.
Yeah,
I can see
Okay.
it.
Avoid super precinct.
Okay. So we're kind of a new, I don't think we're a new super precinct, but a lot of you may not know. We're kind of bounded by Lake Travis, Lake Austin, 360 and 2222. We're about 22,000 registered voters. This area has grown faster than Travis and Austin over the last decade, and we've moved from red to purple. We're about almost 50-50 in the down ballots. Our chairs right now, I've only been a chair for 2 years, and all the other chairs are brand new, even though Tanya Frederick, who's our organizing manager, has been active longer than I have. So she had pop-ups for Beto in 2018. So she's very experienced. Chris just came on less than a month ago, and Pooja is actually Vicki Goodwin's campaign manager. So she's experienced. But we have 2 open precincts, which are roughly a third of our registered voters. And so we've got to fill those. The interesting thing is Beto won 54% here and Biden won 52%. And we have a higher turnout than most of Travis County. And I guess the thing that's important to note is about 15% of our registered voters, 3,000 or so, are in apartments. And the data I've looked at shows that their turnout is pretty abysmal compared to the rest of the precinct. But when they do turn out, they turn out a lot higher share of Democratic votes than the rest of our precinct. So our near-term goals is to try to find chairs for these 2 open precincts that are roughly a third of our total super precinct. And then like we did 2 years ago, do a heavy-duty apartment voter registration campaign drive with other lit on 3,000 or so doors. And then assuming, I don't know if Diana's going to be here, we'll follow whatever happens with the TCDP coordinated campaign. We're not quite as organized as far as a lot of meetings, but we have a big roster of volunteers that step up when we need them. And
Right.
so we're kind of looking at that, especially right now with COVID, people are busy. It's hard to get people to gather in a fixed place, but I have no doubt we'll be able to get the volunteers out when we need them. So that's kind of a status.
Just as a question, do you have a certified? Could you lend them over to like just north of you to the North Shore if they need it? Volunteers?
I wouldn't be willing to commit to that right now. No.
Okay.
I mean,
It's something, it's something to plant in people's ear. Would you be interested in helping neighbors?
Yeah, right now we're gonna, unless we get chairs for these 2 open precincts. Jessica Clinton quit. She retired,
Yeah.
and so we've got a real problem there. And we've contacted a whole bunch of activists in those areas, and it's hard to convince people. I mean, a lot of these precincts are in Central Austin. You got tons of Democratic activists, and everybody wants to be. The further you move out in this exurban area, And the more red it gets, it's harder to find people willing to step up. I've actually had a person that's down the bottom of Steiner Ranch says that they're afraid of being accosted by Trumpers if they became the chair. So, you know, it's not as bad as where Robert Sheldon and Doug Mellon are, but there's some issues here. So we're trying to work them. So
No, I understand. It's sad that politics has gotten to that point.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of a quick report. So
Okay. Okay.
Nice photograph. Look,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, it's a good 1-page overview. So
No, I was talking about your screensaver.
oh yeah, that's in the British Virgin Islands. I was there in May. It was wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Yep. Well, I miss it.
So the next 25 minutes were dedicated to Diana telling us about coordinated campaign, and she has not shown up. So I'm not sure what to do about that except skip it. And I imagine she's just so frantic right now between Zero and her staff and trying to get up to speed that she just
I
completely.
think after Sunday, things can be a lot better.
Yeah. So
I will say that I got a little perturbed with Katie the other day because in the meeting we mentioned that, you know, she had said that one of the first things that Diana was going to do was meet with all the stakeholders. And Katie kind of made a statement of, you know, we know what we need to do and we're going to get on with it, you know. And I hadn't had a chance to go back and bend her ear and say, don't go back on your promise.
I have only talked to her briefly. So, yeah.
Well, right now they're in chaos. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be after Sunday before anything gets done.
Yeah. I assume we're not meeting Thursday, right?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good question. I'd be good to know because I've got 1,000 things going on tomorrow.
I imagine at the last minute we'll hear something. Cynthia's, I assume they're headed up to Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, I'm heading up to
So
Dallas.
I wouldn't think we're going to have a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be around if we do.
Okay. Well, I'll probably be in a car. So,
Yeah.
So the next thing to discuss is, did we lose Carol? We lost Carol.
Apparently.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on her joining again. But we've pretty much gone around the super precincts. There are several we probably need to figure out how to give better love to. One of them I was going to talk about was the Riverside area, which is David, you're going to go to their meeting on the 30th.
Yeah. You know, he mentioned that because of various things, they couldn't meet until then. And I wrote him back and said, well, you know, by then we're going to be down to 90 days to early voting. You know, you're going to really have to hit the deck running. And he's like, we'll see what happens. David is not an optimist.
No, I know.
And,
I know.
he tends to see all the obstacles first. So I don't know who else will show up at that meeting, but I was hoping one of us would be there. So I'll be there to try to encourage them and give them any kind of advice I can.
The two other areas I wanted to really talk about, we already talked about downtown. There's 3 areas. The first, let's make it 4 areas. There's the East Austin area. And I will take a action item.
Talking about Maynard?
No, not East Travis County, East Austin. 101, 104, 103,
Right.
that area. And it has some 400s like 405 and 404 in it.
Who are some of the precinct chairs?
Gerda, no, I can't think of Ray, Sabrina Shaw.
Mhm.
There are precinct chairs in that area. Of course, I don't have that spreadsheet up.
So that includes Cherrywood area.
Cherrywood, yeah, she's on the northern end of it. Let me bring it up and see who. East, Rachel Carnahan is there. Kathy Mitchell, Sabrina Shaw. Jacob is in the Cynthia no, that's there's East must be down in the 400s at this point. So there's a handful of precinct chairs in that area. Jorge Ramirez, Gerda Ray, Lauren Foley is in that area. Elliot Beck. Just got to get them, make sure they're meeting and moving on. They have some good chairs. They just need to make sure they get on the rail. I'll take that as an action item for the next meeting to check with them. I'm also doing Windsor Park. We just talked about Riverside, trying to get them on the rails. There is an area just south of Riverside, kind of between Blue Action Southwest, Blue Action South, Central Austin, Riverside, and which has no organization at all. It actually is where Lana lives. And I have not spent many cycles in doing that. Lana has kind of said, well, I'll look into something. I haven't heard anything. We probably need to figure out how to activate that area because there are a lot of votes. I just haven't had a cycle and there aren't that many precinct chairs in there. So does anybody want to take that one on as an item? Okay. But the other area I wanted to talk about was Blue Action's Southeast Travis County, which was Brian Stoller's area.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat in chaos now that he's going through Suris. And I haven't.
Who else is down there that?
There are some new precinct chairs in that area. We're looking at. There's Bob Balacios, Anna Aguirre, Gabriel Padillo, Dina Estrada, Stephanie Serta. Unfortunately, I don't know these people. Robert Cullen and Marie Love. I know Anne Marie, but maybe I'll call her. But you know, Curtis Smith is also in that area.
You know, if you can get people, agree to get together, I'm happy to go meet with them, you know, and maybe serve that function of trying to help them get going. Just don't have a lot of bandwidth to do the upfront work.
Why don't I have an action item to take, get them to discuss meeting, and you take the action item when they meet, be there.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that.
Okay, I'll do that. Part of it is I didn't want to. Brian was doing it, and then Brian was not doing it. So, that admittedly is a problem. So, hopefully we can. I'll take the action item to actually get them to start meeting. If you'll take the action item to get them to meet. The real problem I have with that area is if you had to find the area in Travis County farthest from me. But it's not that much closer to you either.
Well, I don't care about the distance. I just,
Yeah.
you know, they've got to take some responsibility. And if they're willing to put a meeting together, then I'm willing to meet with them.
Yeah, no, I have no problem trying to meet with them. It's just, you know, it's a haul for me, and I don't know the area, and I don't know the culture down there. So that's so the other last area to talk about how we're going to help is Doug Mellon's area, the North Shore area. I'll take an action item to call Doug. I thought he was going to be here tonight and find out.
Has he done anything? I mean, he talked a lot about getting going, but
Yeah, he's talked a lot about getting going, but I haven't heard a thing. So I'll take an action item to talk to him about getting it going. So
What is his group?
North Shore.
North Shore, got
If you had to find the area farthest from southeast Travis County, it's North Shore.
it. Okay.
I'll drive that one. It's closer to my house.
I'm having connectivity problems and I got bumped off, but I'm back in and I'll rely on the recording to fill in the gap.
Okay. Okay. Last question is, how many people are going to Dallas? Okay, I guess it's me and you, John.
Yeah. Yep.
What reason do you have to go in Dallas? You don't have any family up there.
I know.
Convention.
yeah, I really wanted to go, but it's too dangerous for me. So
We were in Richardson for the 4th of July weekend and I-35 was hell. There were at least 3 vehicle fires that
wow.
made the traffic go down to 1 lane. Coming back, we left and went south on, what is it?
183.
45, like headed to Houston,
Yeah.
and then cut back west at
Like at
Centerville.
Centerville. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually have gone west and taken, now I can't think of the highways. It'll come to me in a minute. And gone up 183 and cut back over.
281
That's actually a nice drive.
Yeah.
is the number.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful drive.
just have contingency plans because it was hell.
Yeah, it's good to know.
It took 5 hours to get to Richardson.
Yeah, and mask up.
Yeah, mask up.
So,
My wife had a function at the state capitol recently, and 3 of the people that attended came down with COVID the next day. So it's rough.
I have to admit, I am surprised I haven't come down with it yet, although I did have one bout last January where I was sick, but my test turned out, I took one test and it turned out negative. So, you know, there is a possibility that I had it, but so far I haven't ever tested positive for it. So hopefully this won't be it. He keeps saying, whenever we go somewhere, we're going to come back from Santa Fe with COVID. We're going to come back from the convention with COVID. One of these days he's going to be right.
Yeah.
Is it worth trying to call Diana to see if she's gonna come in or not?
I don't have her phone number.
Oh,
I have
I
it
think if she's
somewhere.
not here by now, I doubt if she's going to be here.
Yeah. So I will talk to her and see if maybe we'll schedule a special meeting for her to talk to us. But right now, I imagine she's just crazy. So If there's no more business, shall we adjourn?
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn from Greg. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all four, say aye,
Aye.
and we're done. And Carol, I will get you the video.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're adjourning at 7:31.
Yep.
Have a good time at the convention.
Next
Thank you.
meeting is possibly the 3rd.
Yes. Yes. Although if Diana wants to have a special meeting with us, I might arrange that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Marvin, real quick. I mean,
Yeah.
if Katie is overwhelmed and the staff is having trouble, should we put out a call for maybe a volunteer, someone who's not going to convention, to be able to kind of help them with whatever, whatever they need to do for
You know,
JBR?
you'd have to ask Katie or Cynthia about that. One of the problems is Cynthia and Katie both seem to be real hell-bent on staff doing everything.
Yeah.
Stephen has offered many times to volunteer for things and they're like, well, you're not staff. And it's bothersome to me because I think there's a lot of people who would pitch in.
I would be there 20 hours a week if they asked me.
Yeah. And so the positive thing is Cynthia has done a really good job of staff management. But I was telling somebody today, if you look back at the history of TCDP, I don't know a staffer other than maybe Brian, who's been there more than 2 years.
Right.
The staff turns over, people are mobile, they're upwardly mobile at that point, moving on to things. And it's really hard to keep a staff together.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if they'll ever, be able to get out of this chaos or this crisis situation they're always in. It is worth having a talk with Katie about, because we set up committees back when Andy Brown was chair in 2008 and things were falling apart. We had the horrible CEC meetings, a bunch of chairs quit and stuff. That's when Ruben and me and some other people went to Andy and said, hey, you got all these people in the CEC with all these talents. Why don't you make use of them? And that's when we started the committee system. And it just seems to me that, they should invest a little bit more in that.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I'm willing to work for them if they bring me in, but they haven't asked.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is a bit of an anomaly where you have a staff member who who quits, and then we have the crunch of JBR and convention and all this stuff happen at the same time. So it seems like they could make an exception just to bring somebody on to help out.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what happened with Joe Casino.
Yeah.
Joe,
Okay.
and so Joe stepped in, immediately.
Yeah.
But a good example is Joe called, he emailed me yesterday and he said, or he called me on the phone and he said, there's a letter that you have to send out to prospective precinct chairs. He's evidently got 2 or 3 prospective precinct chairs. He said there's a letter and I found it in the drive, the TCDP drive, but there's supposed to be a whole bunch of other documents to go with that. Do you know where they are? And I said, well, I'll just resend them to you. I had sent them to Cynthia in April, and it's about the 15th time I've sent those to TCDP. And, it was very frustrating to me to find out they never made it onto their drive. It's sitting in somebody's inbox, no doubt. And I think they've just been, actually, frankly, since December, since SB1 passed, they seem to have been in chaos ever since then.
Yeah.
I think you're on the right path. If you have a chance to talk to Katie or Cynthia, there's a lot of people who would pitch in and help. If they
I offer all the time. Yeah. And they
Also, Women for Good Government, every time they have a chore to do for TCDP or the Texas Party, they have between 6 and 12 people show up every day
Right.
help do, like, pack the voter registration cards. Somebody could answer the phone during convention and JBR, you know.
Yeah,
They need to reach
I was
out.
I was at the TDP headquarters last week, and I walked in there, and there was a sea of these women from that group who
Yeah,
were doing all sort, whatever they needed to have done. They were just getting on it.
packing it up.
Yeah, it was great. Great to see.
It'd be worth talking to Cynthia and or Katie about it. Katie, actually, I think.
And,
Okay.
and straightforwardly, I works.
Well, I mean, I understand about certain things.
Yeah.
The whole flack about the county convention, they were under TDP's direction on that. And that I think there was some fear that, it wasn't gonna, that it had to be done a certain way. I still think we could have been a lot of help.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a psychological thing, but that's another reason I'm so pleased about the super precinct program is the ones that have their act together are going to get stuff done regardless of whether TCDP does or
Yeah.
not.
Well, I'm looking to build a permanent structure here. So,
Yeah.
as I told East Travis County, this isn't going to end with 2022 November. We're building for 2024.
Well, yeah, and that's what my conversation with Bob Sheldon was about too. He's like, well, some of these people aren't going to come on board. And I said, well, they will when they see what's going on. If you're successful, they'll come on board. It's just people are, especially out where he lives, they just don't have a track record of Democrats being successful. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you look at Blue Action Southwest, I went to one of their recent meetings and there were a lot of people there. And, when they offered for us to co-host this thing in August, I said, sure, because that'll just be a bigger crowd. But I did recommend that they have as much of it outside as they can. They're going to have tables for voter registration and training, and they're going to have all kinds of stuff, And so the more people who gather at one point, the more it inspires other people to get going. We have a list in our super precinct, in our MailChimp account. We have 600 and some odd people now who are supposedly all volunteers. And so our deal is we're dividing them up among precinct chairs, and each one of us is to call those people and ask them to bring at least one person to a postcard party. And it's like they say, postcards are the gateway drug to get people involved to volunteer, So we're going to try to get the people who are already on our list to bring at least one person.
You'll be done by 8.
We don't know.
We're done in about 5-10 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Gotta go.
All right.
Okay. See y'all later.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.